driving back into Elberton, back into the town of Elberton, which is where it all started, where that mystery man, R.C. Christian, came into the granite company to commission the Georgia Guidestones. We met some very interesting characters out at the Georgia Guidestones. I'm here in the car with brother driving. And very interesting folks. First guy who came out, he was this young hipstery guy wearing shorts in 40-degree weather here in Georgia. And I asked him what brought him out there. He said his tattoo artist told him about it. He said she's into all these conspiracy theories. She told him that the guy who created the monument, that he had to go into hiding, that the U.S. government was after him, and something about the New World Order. This old phrase, New World Order, keeps on coming up. And then a little bit later, there was a Marine and his wife. They had driven up from Florida, not just to see the Guidestones, but they showed up and they were not happy about the message on the Guidestones. They were so pissed. They were both just indignant. Like they're reading the points on it, saying like, "What, a world court? That's bullshit! I'm not going to no world court. That population of 500 million? That's not going to happen." They were really pissed at this rock for telling them to have a world court. And they were just indignant that this rock would suggest such a thing. And I was really happy that they came up because it illustrates a lot of the folks who have not been happy about the Guidestones. And here in Elberton, when the Guidestones were first unveiled, there were a lot of folks passing by a lot of churches here. And I know a lot of local ministers were not happy about them. There's one minister in particular, he was quoted by a local paper saying that some of the principles, these globally minded principles that are written on the Guidestones, saying that that's going to be the beginning of Revelation and the end times, and that that's what the Antichrist is going to want, one world government. And even years later, there have been a lot of groups, mostly kind of hard-right conspiracy theory types, John Birch Society types, Alex Jones types, who are really, really suspicious of whoever built these Guidestones, talking about this idea of some kind of secret Illuminati group of elites trying to create one world government and get rid of the U.S. Constitution and our freedoms. But it's easy to laugh at those folks. But when you think about it, if you lived in this little town out in the middle of North Georgia, if you lived here in Elberton, the granite capital of the world, as you can see on the sign here, back in 1980, you're in this sleepy little Georgia town, and then all of a sudden somebody shows up from out of nowhere. Nobody knows who he is. He won't reveal his identity. And he just shows up out of nowhere with a ton of money, and he commissions this big monument, and it's built near the Cherokee Center of the world. It's built in a place that's supposed to have spiritual energy about it. He lines it up with the stars and the sun, and it's got all these messages about world court and world peace. And it would be very easy to think that some kind of strange conspiracy was going on. Like, why would this guy come to my small town and build this whole monument out here, and what is going on? It really, for somebody from a small town, it would feel like the beginning of some kind of Stephen King novel, some sort of sinister, even like a John Grisham novel. Some big sinister outside powerful force coming into this town to create something, to make some kind of monument to their unusual philosophy. You can understand how people would get suspicious, and a lot of people did. But nowadays, I guess most of the town kind of adopted the Guidestones as their own, and they've got security cameras out there to protect them and to keep vandals away. Some people have gone to try to vandalize them, and now it's just a part of the town and just kind of a quirky part of the town's history that people have embraced. So we're going to the Granite Museum right now to check out some information about it. I will tell you though, speaking of conspiracy theories and all, this whole time that we've been out here researching this, every single place we've stopped, when including that the monument to the Cherokee Center of the world, as soon as we park in an empty parking lot on the side of the highway, out in the middle of nowhere, some random car will just come up out of nowhere and park right next to us. Like we've got a tail or something. Oh, here's the Granite Center. It's like Granite Museum. Like we've got some kind of tail from these men in black, secret Illuminati, whatever. Because we're just down in the middle of nowhere and some car will show up. There was that cleaning van that showed up at the church cemetery, and then some random Honda part next to us at the Cherokee Center of the world. And then as soon as we got to the Guidestones, a car showed up out of nowhere, and we thought, oh, here it comes again. We got a tail. But it turns out it was just a hipster who was there because his tattoo artist told him about the place. So here we are in Elberton, Georgia. Incidentally, if you want to know more about the Georgia Guidestones, I highly recommend this book here. This is really the seminal book about the Georgia Guidestones. The title is the same. Raymond Wiley and K.T. Prime are the authors of this book. Really recommend it. Very informative, really well researched. And they talk a lot about the Rosicrucian philosophy that probably influenced whoever created these stones, and we're never going to know. The only person who knows is the banker who helped finance it, and he said that he's going to take the secret to his grave. Georgia Guidestones, folks. State law!